Let's create this fade-in image title instead of the standard Godot one for our game. When starting normally, we first get this Godot logo. To change that, we can go to the project settings, boot splash, and set our own custom image. In some versions of Godot and some renderers, it still takes a bit of time before even this image shows up. So we can set the background color to match the color of our image to mask this delay. To fade in our image, we then create a new script and class for this title. It will extend Node2D because it's user interface and not part of our game world. First we create a constant for the fade in time and set this to the preferred seconds. After that we'll create a reference to a background image and the image to be faded in and preload them. To display these images, we'll use a canvas layer to put them on top of and the sprite to display the images themselves. With the canvas layer, we can make sure that everything on it is drawn in front of or behind of other canvas layers, and to make sure this one is on top. After creating this canvas layer, we set the layer property to 999. Lower values will be drawn behind higher values. Then we add the background and title sprite with their image for the texture property as children of the canvas layer. To make sure the title is displayed first, I'm creating an instance of this title class in the init of an autoload. This results in the images being displayed in the top left corner, because by default the center of the image is at the position coordinate of the sprite. We can set this property to false for the background, which causes the position coordinate to become the top left of the image. We could also do this for the image to fade in, but depending on the image size, it won't be in the center of the screen. We could scale the image to always be the same size as the screen, but I'd like to have it always stay the same size. So to center it, we can set the position of this sprite to the center by setting it to half the size of the viewport. We need to do this in the ready function because the viewport won't be accessible before that. This gives a nice result as long as we don't change the size of the window. The background won't cover the whole screen and the image won't stay centered. To update the position and size of the sprites after each change in the viewport size, we can create the function where we set the scale of the background equal to how many times it fits in the viewport size, and move the code for changing the fade-in image here. To call the function every time the window and thus the viewport changes in size, we connect it to the size change signal of the viewport. And now the title always covers the game world. Lastly, to create the fade-in effect, we first set the modulate alpha layer of the image to 0, and then we use the process function to gradually increase this number to 1 over the time we specified in our constant, which gives us the fading in title image.